make my family's version of chicken piccata, and this is my all-time favorite Italian dish, and it's super simple, very easy flavors, and everybody loves it. I don't know anybody that does it. So let's go over the ingredients of what you'll need. I do 2 chicken breasts, and I go to the meat market and I have them run it through the tenderizer. So it's super tender, a little bit more flat. You want it to cook evenly. Then we have some chicken stock, we have white wine, good olive oil, salt, pepper, 2 lemons, butter, and then these are garlic cloves. They're peeled garlic cloves and they come in these little sealed bags. I get these are the best. Some all-purpose flour, and then whatever you choose to serve it with. So I like to do angel hair pasta, but some people like rice. That's totally up to you. So now that you've seen the ingredients, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first thing is dealing with our chicken. I've already seasoned the other side, so you want to do both sides, but we're gonna season them really well with salt and pepper. And I like to use the thicker salt. That's like really the only thing I cook with. And freshly ground black pepper. Season both sides, like I said, I already did the other side. And now we're gonna season our flour. Same thing, salt and pepper. Pretty well. And this is gonna be what we dredge our chicken in. So once you do that, just kind of mix it together with a fork. And now we're gonna go ahead and put our chicken in there. I try to use as less tools as possible because I hate doing dishes. Okay, so I'll use the fork to put them on there, and then I'm gonna just use my hands to dredge this really well in flour. And if you like more of a crust on it, you can dip this in an egg wash too and then do the flour, but this is more the way that I was taught to make it, and I don't really even think you need that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these breaded really well, and then I will show you what comes next. It's getting serious. Okay, so now that all of my chicken is dredged in flour, I set it aside, and I also saved my flour because we'll use a little bit of that for the sauce. I cubed up some butter, and I also chopped a couple cloves of garlic, and now I'm going to juice some lemon. This is the most important part of this dish, I think. I really like mine lemony, so I don't hesitate on lemon. You can add as little or as much as you want. So it's totally up to you, but you can taste it as you go and see what you think. Okay, so this is how we go ahead and start everything. It's nice because everything is gonna go in one pan. We're gonna put this on about medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. And you wanna use good olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, first cold press, all of that type of stuff. I'll show you what kind I like, and then we're gonna add some butter in there. And I like to do a little bit more butter than I do olive oil. We're gonna let this heat up, and then this is gonna be what we cook our chicken in. So I will show you what this will look like when we're ready. Now you can hear the sizzling of the butter and olive oil, so now we're ready to add our chicken in. So you wanna be sure that it's hot enough. When it sizzles, that's when you know it's ready. And I'm gonna do about 2 pieces at a time, just depending on how big your pan is. You don't want to overcrowd it because you don't want it to steam. You want it to crisp up. Okay, so these have been cooking for about 4 minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and see. Yep, there we go. Flip it over. That breast kind of got a little drinked up, but that's all right. It's still gonna taste as good. And flip it over, let the other side cook. I don't worry about it being 100% cooked through yet because I do like to put them back in the sauce and let it kind of simmer together. This is just to really get the majority of the cooking done and to get the crust on there. So, just that's a side note. Also, the olive oil has a higher cooking temperature, So if you don't want to worry about as many brown bits, you can use a little bit more ratio of olive oil than butter. But I just really love the way the butter gives it so much flavor. So I do the butter, and then if I need to just take some of the brown bits out, I can. But I'm gonna go ahead and let these finish frying up. I've already done the other two. And as soon as these are done, we're gonna start our sauce in the same pan. So be right back. Okay, so since I fried with butter, I had a little bit of burnt bits. So I went ahead and took those out, and I left as much of them as I could that wasn't gonna make it taste bitter. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start on the sauce. I'm gonna add a little bit more butter, because you know you can't have too much butter in anything. And once this melts, then we're gonna add our garlic. Try to scrape all those brown bits off. That's like a ton of flavor we don't want to miss out on. I also turned my heat to medium low, so it's not too high. Okay, so now that my butter and olive oil are nice and warm, I went ahead and added my garlic clove. You do not want to burn garlic. So you're gonna cook it till it gets fragrant, and then we're gonna move on to the next step, because it will get very bitter if it overcooks. That should be good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add just a couple teaspoons or tablespoons of the same flour that we used for the chicken, the seasoned flour. This is going to help thicken our sauce in a little bit. You can see how our sauce is kind of thickened. That's what we want. Now I'm gonna add a couple cups of chicken stock. And I like to make more sauce than a lot of people do because I like to cover my pasta with it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the heat to medium high. We wanna bring it to a simmer. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of white wine. Just a splash. This is optional, but I really like the way that white wine tastes in food, so I add it. Okay, we're gonna let this come to about a simmer, or right before a simmer. We're gonna go ahead and add our lemon juice. And like I said, I like it to be pretty lemony. So this is about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Add it all right in. Mix this together. And we're just gonna let this continue to simmer till you start to see it thicken and reduce a little bit. Okay, so now that our sauce has been simmering for a little while and it's reduced quite a bit, we're gonna go ahead and add some capers. And I personally think that the capers are one of the most important parts of the dish. I forgot to put them in the little beginning part of the video whenever I said the ingredients, so my bad. But you definitely want capers. So I'm gonna do, this is really hard to get these capers out of this thing. I like quite a few capers. Now I'm gonna go ahead and place my chicken back in the pan. And this will help thicken it. Oops. Just nuzzle it in there. I put the chicken in whenever I start to make my pasta. So if you're making rice or something, that's when you can put it back in. This is just gonna be put on medium-low heat, and we're just gonna let this all simmer together. And I'm gonna go ahead and make my pasta, and then it'll be ready to go. Okay, so this is how I make my chicken piccata. It is my all-time favorite Italian dish. It's so simple, so good, and everybody loves it. I serve mine with some angel hair pasta, and then I just scoop the sauce and I put the chicken breast right on top, and then I just put some parsley on it. It is delicious. You have to try it, and I will put the recipe in the description box below so you can try it out. See ya!